Hello, I'm Alex Mansfield, the host of Manny Talks Shooting, and welcome to another episode. This is the shooting podcast where I talk to individuals all across the shooting industry. We'll talk competition, self-defense, concealed carry. If you like this content, check out our YouTube channel, Manny Talks Shooting. And without further ado, let's get to this episode. Manny Talks Shooting is proudly presented to you by D2 Custom Guns. Did you know that Phil the Groundhog isn't the only thing Puxatawny, Pennsylvania is famous for? That's right, D2 Custom Guns, the home of Dan Heizenreiter and one of the best, fabulous 2011 builders in the country. So make sure you guys go check him out, D2 Custom, anywhere you can see him on the social media, Facebook, Instagram, go check him out. If you see myself, Patches Reader, anyone with the D2 Custom Guns, make sure you go check him out, and you will thank me later. Now, let's get on to the show. Welcome back, everybody, and yes, welcome back. We're finally doing another episode of Manny Talks Shooting. I had a little bit of burnout. I needed a break. It was a long season, but it's okay. We're going to get back at it. So today is going to be an excellent show. It's proudly presented to you by D2 Custom Guns. So check them out, d2customguns.com. Tell Dan you need a gun. You could get on that board. You could get a gun. You'll probably get it before the new season starts, but business is booming over at D2 Custom. So go check them out, d2customguns.com. Without further ado, we're going to talk to a guy I met at Kentucky State this year. The man has a trigger finger faster than a full auto. I could even say it rivals my buddy Tony's trigger finger. We're sitting down with Mr. Ashton Hamon. How you doing, Ashton?
Good, man. I appreciate you having me on here.
No problem. I think it was about time. I've been seeing you pop up pretty much all year, a little last year and this year. So I was like, well, I need a show, and I bet he'd do one. So I hit you up, and it worked. And now we're here.
Perfect. Yeah. Easy.
So man, it's always I always ask this question to start the shows off, but because I'm curious, who are you and how did you get into shooting?
Cool, man. My name is Ashton Hamon. I born and raised in Florida. Haven't been shooting too long and didn't grow up shooting guns at all. I grew up, playing video games. As most people, I was born in '97, so I kind of went through that era of, the first Call of Duties all the way through the newer ones. So I always loved video games that were based on firearms. So that's what kind of got my attention into it as I grew up. But I played sports, so that's what I owe all my agility to, all my thanks to for that. Football, basketball, baseball, soccer, I did all of it. As for the shooting, how I got into that, it was Lucas Botkin videos on T-Rex back in the day. That's what he used to be on. So I would see these videos of this guy shooting so fast, and I'm just like, man, that's one of the coolest things. And I was like, I want to get a cool gun, so I grabbed a Glock was my first gun, and I had it for a little while. Never did anything with it, just kind of carried it around, threw it around, stuff like that. And then I was like, man, like what is this going on here with this running and shooting? So I seen him do that, and I just wanted to try it so bad, but no range would let you do that. It was always like flat shooting ranges. And then I found a competition video that just popped up on my Instagram one day, and I'm like, oh, dude, that looks so much fun, so I have to try it. So literally got into the sport solely from social media. That's it. I didn't have a buddy. I didn't have a friend, mom, dad, cousins, anybody. I didn't know anything about the sport. It was literally social media that got me into this sport, man, to be honest with you. So
Well,
sum it up,
that's kind of impressive, right? So the power of social media influenced you enough to go shoot a match.
Yeah.
So we'll dive back a little bit, right? So you grew up playing video games. You're born in '97. Thank the Lord you're born before the year 2000. Make me feel even older. But so you grew up playing video games. So Call of Duty. Did you play Halo at all?
So I've had PlayStations. So yeah, now I heard they're going to cross platform, but no, back in the day, I didn't have that one. Did play
It was
that
all
one.
Call. Oh well, fair enough. So you probably grew up. What was it? Modern Warfare 2,
Oh
probably.
yeah,
Um,
yeah.
my friends always were mean. We always had to play on the little Rust map.
Oh yeah, oh yeah.
And I hated it because you couldn't hide you couldn't hide anywhere.
Nowhere to go.
Well, and back when I started, everyone was like, "Oh, we're gonna snipe everybody. We're gonna use sniper rifles," and I'm like, "This game is getting very boring very quickly."
Oh yeah, quickscopes was the way, man.
Well, and for someone who wasn't the best at video games, I mean, I could play, but I was not like the best. So when they're like, "Well, do you want to?" They invited me over to have the fourth person on the screen, and I'm like, "All right." After the third game of getting annihilated, I'm good. Like,
Good.
I'm
Yeah.
good.
Oh man, I was the opposite, bro. I played the heck out of games when I got home from football practice, baseball, whatever it was. All my teammates all had PlayStations as well, so we would hop on there and literally play until each of us would get yelled at by our parents, and still try to sneak back on to play. And it was just one of our other bonding areas that we had. And at the time, it was so cool. Like they had the new games coming out with RC cars with bombs strapped on and stuff. So growing through that era, versus playing on N64 when I was a little kid with my brother, on 007, is a whole nother world, just like nowadays you have virtual reality games that are, very immersive and rising up very heavily, like Ace VR. People love that, and, so it's cool to go through that next wave. But back then, that was that huge wave for sure. That's got a lot of my attention.
Well, and for me, I didn't grow up in a home with Wi-Fi or internet, so I was stuck
Oh,
playing the campaign. And I'm like, "Oh, this is a
oh,
cool game." And I'm like, you can fight your way through the game every once in a while and be like, "This is cool." And then everyone's like, "Wait, there's a campaign on this game?"
exactly. Yeah, not for the campaign.
Right? So out of those sports, which one would you say was your primary sport?
Oh man, so if you haven't seen me in person, I mean, I know you have, but other people, if they haven't seen me in person, I'm a massive guy, so you could probably assume football's what I got sucked into for sure. I was really good at football, and I was really good at basketball. Those were two sports I carried over the most. The reason was I stopped with the other ones is because you can't play all four at the same time. Some are at the same season, so you got to kind of pick and choose. And football, always the coaches always pulled me in as hard as they could. All my friends always played football. Basketball was my favorite sport, though. I really enjoyed, the crafts, being able to be crafty out there, being able to, just do a little bit more for individual because there's 5 people versus 11 on football. So one person really matters a little bit more. I mean, at least almost 50% more, in my opinion, in a basketball team. And each person plays a huge role during the plays. Where in football, one or two guys can, they might not do their job and the whole play doesn't crumble down. But one person in basketball doesn't do their job and the whole system does crumble down. So basketball is my favorite. Football is what probably got devoted more time just because of my size. I'm 6'5", 6'6". Back then, I graduated at 315 pounds. I was, absolutely huge. So I was just a lot of time spent in football for sure.
And this white boy could jump.
Oh yeah, oh yeah, oh for sure. I mean, well, big. I mean, being my size, I reach up is not too high to get up to the rim, but I definitely could dunk. I have my all-time whole career one dunk in a game ever. It was a fantastic experience. All the other moments that I had, I either missed or failed the opportunity to do it. But I could definitely could dunk rather easy.
Hmm. Did you ever think of going to collegiately with basketball or no?
Yeah, so I wanted to. I ended up playing football in Minnesota at a school called Northland. I graduated, turned down all the offers. I talked to a bunch of schools. The school that I was heavily talking to was called Carson Newman. They're in Tennessee. I went and visited them quite a bit, and they offered me a scholarship to go play for them. And being at the time and the person that I was so devoted to the people around me that I told them I would come to their school and play for them if they could offer one of my friends a scholarship. A really good friend of mine named Tyson Irons. And I looked into the coach's face. He told me that they couldn't do it at the time, and I told them that it just probably wasn't the school for me, and I didn't see the best fit for it, and I walked away from that. Started working right after school at my uncle's factory, which make the vents at like a Japanese restaurant. The chef comes out and turns the vent on up above. They made the vents. So I started working at that factory for a few months and then got a call from this school to come play for them. So I went up there to Minnesota to play for this school and played up there for a year. And it just wasn't what it was when I was younger. It became a full-time job. And at the time, I'm like, I'd rather just start working and get out there into the field and start using my brain rather than using my body. I didn't want to be all tore up, so I did explore, but it didn't have the avenues that I would wanted to have going on for it at the time, if that makes sense.
Hmm. Oh no, that definitely makes sense. And and as I talk to a lot of young people too, college isn't for everybody, right? Like some people are into that, some people aren't. So college definitely isn't
Right.
for everybody. So So that's cool. So you started working at your uncle's Japanese grill, grill assembly
Yeah,
place. So that's kind of cool.
yeah, yep. Yeah, they make those for everything. Like the schools bought them. Like some houses started to have them, but that's the one of the big clients were kitchens, huge kitchens of some sort, whatever it was, would be the big people who would make them. And like I said, I didn't work there for long. It was a cool opportunity to be able to go experience what work was at a young age, to be more thankful to the time you don't have to work at that age. I'm like, whoa, like this is jumping into real life at 18 years old. This is a lot, and then being able to go play at another school was kind of like, maybe I should explore that avenue and check it out.
Oh yeah, 100%. Yeah, you check out those opportunities that you have and see if it makes sense for you. So
Yeah, for sure.
you said you didn't grow up around guns and you first got into firearms via Lucas Botkin videos and
Yep.
stuff. So when you got into guns, did you then start doing all like the T-Rex drills like at the range and stuff, or did you start
No,
dry
I
firing then, or what?
Yeah. I never did any of that, any of those videos that he posted for the drills and stuff. I didn't never tried one. Still to this day, I've never shot anything, any drill, any instructor's drill they have out there. I've actually never done, to be honest with you. I've done like the build drill, some of those ones that we shoot in USPSA, but not anybody's standards. I'm interested in starting to hop into that, but I didn't do it back then. I didn't do it. Still don't do it. The Lucas Botkin videos were like definitely that stepping stone. And I think I bought a gun when I was like, my mom bought me a gun when I was younger. She bought me one when I was like 17. She's like, be careful with this thing, basically. We talk about it now and we laugh because how I ended up getting a firearm was just absolutely funny story. But I didn't do any drills, I didn't do any dry fire or anything. I just had the gun. And then when I watched that first competition video, I just went to the match. I had no clue what to bring. I had no idea. All I did was go on YouTube and type in shooting competition, seen a guy's belt. So I ordered a competition belt, like a hunting setup type of ordeal. I had everything on it, med pouch, knife, everything. And I showed up to that match. It was a crazy experience, but that's what it was wild. Just literally watching that video, no dry fire practice, just went to a match and shot the match, not knowing what was going to happen or anything. And it wasn't a USPSA match for the first one. It was a carbine match in Volusia County, Florida. I think it's called FBCC, I think it's called. And I believe they still do the match. And there was only one squad of us. There's maybe 11 or 12 shooters altogether. But that was the first one, carbine match.
Did you win it?
I honestly, I think I did. I'm pretty sure I won the match. And that was, if I didn't win, I was placed really high out of the group, and it was like, oh wow, I might be pretty good at this. And if I didn't win, I definitely did good on some stages because I have some videos of it. And it's really cool to look back at that particular match and be like, whoa, like that's where you came from, in a very short period of time.
Yeah, I think those first couple videos are always very cringe. Like I looked at mine the other day and I'm like, "Ugh." It's like
Oh yeah.
it was. I mean, they can be pretty bad.
Yeah, it's pretty rough. I'll have to send you a clip of the video. So Gorka is the owner of the Volusia County Gun Range. Um, he runs a lot of major matches at his range down there, and that's one of the first top shooters I was able to watch. Congratulations to all your success, Gorka, as well. You're amazing, man. So it's fun to watch him. My very first stage that I shot in USPSA at his range, he was my RO, and I didn't know who he was at all. I just seen a super fast shooting guy. Had no clue who he was or anything. I was impressed about his raw talent. And of course, he's my RO, and I go up to the stage and I shoot it, and I'm shooting through the walls. I thought that if you could put it through those little holes in the netting, and you made the shot and it hit the cardboard, you're good to go. So I have this video that I just asked some random old guy to record for me, and he did. And here's Gorka ROing behind me, and he throws his hands up, at the end of the stage while I'm shooting through the walls, wondering what in the heck is this kid doing. So, that's my knowledge of the sport before getting into it. It was very much so just get out there, jump in, and do the thing. You know.
Well, and that's the good thing too, right? You just get out there and do the thing, experience it. And, a lot of people will, oh, I'm not ready for that. I'm not quite skilled enough to go shoot a match. And I think go shoot any match, right? Like, and that's when you get hooked and you get them suckered in after they do it, and then it's super fun
Right.
after that.
Right. Right. Oh, it's been addictive for sure.
So, so like you said, you first pro shooter or big good shooter you saw was Gorka. So did you consistently try to squad with Gorka, or is it just sure luck if you're shooting a local match and you're on his squad good? Or
Yeah, yeah. So, so I would try. I would never really get into his squad. It was a very rare occasion that I would actually make it into Gorka's squad. But even when I wasn't on his squad, I would try to slide over to the next bay in between pasting and stuff and try to watch him shoot. And I didn't know when I first started that any of the rules. Like I said, I was shooting through walls, so I'm sure you could imagine how I felt about anything else in the sport. So when I was trying to get better, I would record these guys and kind of be discreet with it. I didn't know if they were okay with me recording them, and looking back now, like people laugh about it, because you're not going to turn around and tell somebody put your camera down. It's not something I've ever heard any shooter in this sport ever tell anybody at a match. They're so focused on their own game anyways, you're not really turning around and observing who's observing you. It's not a thought in my mind, at least. So I would be kind of discreet with it, record and go home and watch these stages and be like, wow, like overlay the two footage and see where am I so bad? Why am I at, 50, 60, 70, 80% on this stage, that stage, whatever it is, and what's going on? What can I do to be better? And that's what I would do. I would just try to sneak into his squad if I could, and if I couldn't, try to sneak over to his bay, catch some of his footage. The other guy that I squatted with the most, that also influenced me a lot, is Jedediah Morgan. Jedediah Morgan is a GM out of Florida. He is an amazing shooter. I mean, just flat out amazing shooter. And he shoots he shot a Glock back in the day. I think he switched to like Shadow down the road, but fantastic shooter. And I think he's skill level wise, slightly better than Gorka. I think he's really good. And he's very fast, very agile, and he's actually injured right now. He had some kind of hand injury. But that guy there, I really studied him for a long time to try to figure out what he was doing to try to get me to that next level. So Gorka, when I could, Jedediah was there a lot more free than others. And of course, there's scattered other shooters in the area that I was able to watch that also influenced and also would give advice and help out when they could and those things. But those two shooters were definitely the top two that I could definitely look back at and say thanks to for letting me watch you guys shoot and take some notes from you guys.
that's pretty cool. Like I haven't heard, other than when people talk about Gorka's range, that's pretty much the extent I hear about Gorka. I did get to meet him in person at Area 5 this year. He shot pre-match. No, he shot pre-match. He shot like the staff match because he booked his flight's wrong or something. It's like, we'll make it work. So we did it.
Right.
But he's super nice dude. But yeah, Jedediah Morgan, also a name you don't necessarily hear unless you know him or you're from Florida or you know Jay Beal and Saul Allen who talk about him from time to time. So it's good to hear that name every once in a while. It sucks to hear that he has a hand injury and isn't shooting right now. But
Yeah, he'll be back, I'm sure, man. That guy's he's a very good shooter. I've can say that in all of my years of training so far. Most of it was dry fire, but the times I went to a range and had started doing classes, Jedediah was at the range almost every single time I go to the range. Himself or with one or two people. Brandon Montville would be with him. And then I did catch Jay out there with him one time or two times, but incredible amount of effort that guy puts into the sport. So I cannot wait to see him bounce back and get back into this stuff because wow, he really is an amazing shooter.
oh yeah. So I gotta ask. Somebody asked this, but I gotta ask it. Does the cowboy hat give you superpowers?
The cowboy hat does, dude. I'm gonna be honest. This is the regular Justin's cowboy hat. Howitzer cowboy hats down in the vehicle. I didn't grab it. The Howitzer one gives me even more. To
Yeah.
be honest with you, Eric
So-
making that cowboy hat awesome.
So my question is, what made you start wanting to wear cowboy hats on the range?
And man, you know what?
You're already
Somebody
tall
I've been
enough.
asked,
Everyone already sees you. Like,
dude. I got asked this question. I got asked this a few different times. It's very funny. I went to a flea market. And at the flea market, there were some cowboy hats at this Mexican vendor's booth. He had some Mexican gear, belts, hats, different things. And this hat just was speaking to me. I mean, I don't know what it was, but I was drawn into it like a magnet, man, and just sucked me in. And he just pulled the money out of my wallet and took it from me and put the hat on my head. And that was it, man. The cowboy hat was just, it was summoned. It wasn't something I went out to buy that day. And I don't think anybody should go out and just try to look for a cowboy hat. You'll know, if it's for you, you'll know.
yeah, exactly. And you just when something speaks to you, it's inevitable. You're just buying it and calling it a day.
Yeah, man, just got on here, never hopped off. I actually sleep, shower, eat, everything with this thing on.
Everyone
Yeah,
wants your cowboy hat. Hey, if I let them shoot like you, that's what they'd want, right?
you can try it on anybody. Come up to me at a match and put it on your head, take a picture, and you'll feel it. You'll get your few seconds, and it'll just engulf you. You'll be consumed by the cowboy for sure.
Oh yeah, exactly. So you started shooting. Most of your training at this point is dry fire, right? And you said you took some classes, right? So,
I took
uh,
A class,
okay,
one
you took A
class with Joe.
class
Yep.
with Joe Farewell.
Huh?
Okay, so what made you want to take Joe Farewell's class?
So I was at the time I was already a master at CO, and one of my really really good buddies, Giovanni, he bought the class and couldn't make it, and he told me he had the class, and he said if you want it, you can go to it. So I took the opportunity when it was given to me. Even at the time, that class was a intermediate, like a beginner class. I believe it was like beginner one and level one, level two, like back to back, and though I was already a master in carry optics using the Glock, I felt like there's going to be no harm by going and doing that class, especially for the time I had to pay for it, which it was even more of a blessing. But it was amazing. That's why I took it. To the short answer.
Hmm. Well, hey, might as well if the opportunity presents itself, might as well take it, right?
Yeah, for sure. And what a great instructor. What a great class. I learned so much from it. Even being a master at his beginner class, wow, I would do it again. Even if he had a beginner class, to spend that time with Joe, to observe him and just his method of instructing is amazing. His method that he uses to bounce around on the stages, the way he shoots his gun, the way he reloads, the way he does any kind of micro movement, and it was something you can take from all of it. It's amazing. What a cool guy.
Hmm. Oh, absolutely. Joe's been on the show. He's salt the earth kind of people. He's super knowledgeable. I love that he kind of pushes people to dry fire with his dry fire crew branding, and
Love it.
and he's helping local LE down there in Florida get better. I know he does that winter
Winter
paradise
Summit.
summit. Yeah,
Mhm.
which is super cool too. This dry cough is going to be the death of me. I can feel it, guys. You're lucky I know how to hit the mute button, or you'd be listening to me cough all night. um, so from the time you started, how long did it take you to make GM in your first division?
Um, I made GM this year. So I've been shooting now for 3 years total. During that 3 years, I was down for 7 months for back surgery. So I've been shooting for 2 months or two years and 3 months, just over that now of consistent shooting. When people say they've been shooting for a number of years, they probably have been. But when I say that, it's been almost every single day for those years. And the days that I'm not shooting, I'm dry firing. My dry fire regimen has been hours and hours and hours per day. So it's been a lot of logged hours in that short amount of years. Um, so yeah, it took me quite a bit to make GM. It took me that two years plus to make GM, and it took me a while to make it even any other division. It took me a while to make master. To be honest with you, I was A class for a long time, and the reason being is at Volusia. During those past years, when I look back at my records on practice score, there was no classifiers that we shot in an abundant amount. when I would travel to other matches, their local matches would have 2 classifiers per match, and they'd probably do about 2 a month. So you'd be able to get classified rather quick. Or you'd have classifier matches that would pop up frequent. But at Volusia, we didn't have that. We would have very little classifiers that would ever pop up at the match. You would have to travel hours and hours away. So at the time, the kind of the overall, summary that everybody gave me when I first started is don't worry about classification. It'll just kind of happen when it happens. But when I go to other clubs, every shooter at that club will go to every classifier match chasing their next classification that they can try to achieve. So my method on it was I don't really care what happens with it. My performance is based off of what I percentage at against the top guy. That's what I always went after. So it took me quite a while to make GM, but it did happen naturally just from shooting matches and shooting good at classifiers, but never hunting them. I only did one classifier match my whole life, and it was with Open. I went and shot Open down at OK Corral. And that was because I needed to get ranked to get into a match, you know?
Yeah. Oh yeah. It sucks. You go to a major match and you're unclassified, right? Like it's like
Yeah.
the word like, oh great. So I don't get a trophy unless I win the whole thing. I don't get a trophy. So.
Yeah, that's what happened at Area 6. I just went and did that at Area 6 shooting PCC unclassified, and luckily I podiumed, so you still get something. I think they gave me a third place, for overall PCC trophy, which was pretty cool. But yeah, it's kind of like, who are you going against, and all those things if you're a competitive person. But like I said, for me, I know where I sit at in the divisions I've been shooting. Even if there was a D next to my name, it wouldn't bother me 1% at all. I really care about where I percent at the end of those matches against that high shooter. So pretty fun to bounce around from division to division. So, but it is a pain. You show up as U class for most people. They got to win the whole thing, and we all know the skill level you got to be to win the whole thing. You got to be a really, really good shooter.
Yeah, and Volusia is just kind of like my own gun club where we shoot matches. We don't shoot. They host a classifier match about once a year, but the locals, the good local matches, you're not shooting a classifier. So I know your boat is like I can go I'll probably go a whole year without having a classifier put on my record because it is how it is. And if I shoot a classifier match, I grab a different division and be like, well, I don't care. I'm just gonna go shoot some other random division like.
Right.
I think next time I'm going to be silly. I'm going to borrow a revolver and go shoot revolver from somewhere. Thank you for checking out another episode of Manny Talks Shooting. I greatly appreciate it. And if you could do me a favor, please go patronize our partners when you are available. We have always, as the title sponsor, D2 Custom Guns. We've got Outdoor Dynamics, Make Stuff Better, 2 Alpha Apparel, Range Panda, Laugh and Load, Hunter's HD Gold, and Southern Bobby Q. Now, thank you. Let's get on with this episode.
I can't wait. I have to. For the cowboy hat, I really got to get a revolver in my hand.
Well, now that you're living in near Rio Salado, everyone's going to be like, here you go. Here you go.
Uh-huh. There's a lot of...
But the problem is then they're going to be like, the worst part is you're going to have to find all those federal primers that go off in all those revolvers because, I don't know. I think revolver shooters are more finicky than open shooters, like, to be honest with you.
Oh, man. Yeah, I don't know if I want those problems.
Right? Where was I going to go? Okay, so what was your first? So you started, you said you've been shooting for, 2 years and about 3 months now, like consecutively every day or in your training. From the time you started, what was your first major match?
My first major match was last year at the end of the year at Area 6.
Okay.
Yeah, so not long. It's been 1 year officially of shooting majors.
So that was Area 6 down at Belton?
Yeah, last year they had it at a different venue than this year, which that venue, in my opinion, was far superior.
Yeah. Talladega is not ideal. I mean, it's great for the people who live in Alabama, but not really good for anybody else because there's nothing around there. Like,
travel there was not great. It's very far from the airport. You got to drive about an hour out each one, whether you're at Atlanta or you fly into Birmingham. So it's quite a far drive. Since the area is not as popular, the car demand is so high from all the shooters and the influx of us coming in that you have to end up resulting to booking really early or booking really late, paying quite a bit or using a third-party app, which sometimes isn't great. The location is not the best. The range itself is amazing. But this year, it was a ghost town, and 15 minutes after the range, I took took shooters to let them demo my maul out, which was amazing. But let them take the Mean Arms maul over there and shoot it. And when we got done from the demo, and we only shot less than 100 rounds after, I came out and there was not one other person at the range. Even the ROs were gone. So it was very strange. The Area 6 last year at Belton, the whole entire vibe was amazing. They had little games you could play. You could go and try to outshoot people, little still challenges. They had food trucks, ice cream trucks. It was awesome, man. It was a really cool match and venue, in my opinion. But yeah, that was my first one, Area 6 last year.
Well, there you go. Yeah. So you started shooting Area 6 last year as your first major. You seem to be steamrolling all of them now, in the Florida area, in that Area 6 region.
Mm-hmm.
So, I think there's one. Okay. No relevant listener question for this yet, but we'll get there. So you're dominating. Which division would you primarily say is your home, right? Which one do you call, like, if you're going to call any of them a primary division, which one would that be?
Oh man, I really don't like that question because I love them all so equally. But probably limited optics. I have more logged in limited optics, so I'm going to go with the statistically speaking category or division, which is LO for me.
Okay, so what makes you what about LO appeals to you?
So the speed that you can go at with that particular division and the importance of getting that division have more shooters. Well, in the past little bit of time that it was starting for me, it was a provisional division, I think they called it. They said it might not be there. So I was like, oh my gosh, like we got to make this a division. Same thing if there's another division that was to be a talks of coming up and I had the gear to do it, I would definitely support it, just to have more variety in the sport for people. I think it's cool. But at that time I had 2011s and I was like, man, there's a whole division for it. I want to jump in and support the growth of it. So that was like the main reason to do it. But once I got into it, started shooting it, why I prefer it over carry optics is because I really enjoy the fire platform itself. The single action trigger on the 2011, I get very consistent trigger pulls with it. I can shoot just as fast as I can think about shooting the gun. I like to be able to tune them. I like to play around with them and mess around and see if I can play with them and get them to shoot a little bit better. When I tried that with my Glock, it stopped working immediately. Like it was like, oh my gosh, I had to go back to this trigger. Oh, try out this trigger. I try it and it stops working, or it just had all sorts of little issues and whatnot. So I really enjoy, trying to hop into this new division and trying to, be one of those top contenders in that division as well. Being a new shooter, I feel like anything that was new was attractive to me. So, new brands, any new companies, new matches, anything that was new that I could kind of try to slide into being a new shooter, I felt like matched what I could do and what my motive was in the sport. So it was just kind of easy transition into that.
Okay, well that makes sense. So, what is your limited optics gun of choice? You said it was a 2011, but what is it? Who makes it?
I shoot Race City Defense. Race City Defense is an awesome company. They manufacture a lot of their parts and they get the rest of their stuff from superior companies such as Atlas. Atlas makes some of the parts on their guns as well. So that's the company I use now. I started off with a Staccato P. I just had a standard P, 4.4 inch plastic grip, nothing done to it at all. Really cool gun. After the P, I went to a Heritage P, which is the 4.15 inch, I believe it is. Very snappy little gun, but I love the speed of it. Right after that gun, I went into an Atlas Hyperion that I sent off and got optic-cut by DSC Customs. The owner is Dave. He cut it, put a RDS plate from Atlas on top on it, rock and rolled for a little while. Then I got my injury. Sold the gun to help pay for back injury costs. Sold all my guns actually to help pay for the cost. Then the next 2011, when I got back and started working and saved up for, was an Atlas, the 5-inch one, the Titan RDS. I went to Puerto Rico and shot the Caribbean Open with the Titan RDS, and I loved it. And I took overall on that match of the whole match, not just at limited optics. Then started piquing interest in Race City Defense, on social media posts because the guns looked amazing, and they were a new company. Going back to that, me being attracted to a newer company, so initiated contact with the company, spoke to them for a while, and then this year at SHOT Show, at 2025 SHOT Show, I met up with them, and we we went out for some dinner, went and met at the booth, talked for a little while, and we came to an agreement that I would be getting a gun sent off to me pretty soon to use. So now that's what I use as the Race City Defense. I only have this here with me. This is the Race City Defense open gun that they just built for me. This is the only one. They don't make these for sale. This is just a test gun to see, and it's right now open minor. It's not even built for open major. Barrel needs to be fit for the open ammo. But this is their grip. It says, you guys can see, it's a custom like grip that they have for it. This is their slide patterns. These cuts on it is what it looks like. But just a fantastic gun overall. Atlas trigger. Atlas safeties, ignition kit, all the stuff on the gun is top notch. So that's what I use now.
So it's funny enough. So we talked about that, right? So Race City Defense asked a question: what's his cleaning schedule like?
Oh man, so that's bullying right there, and that's messed up for them asking that question, because I'll be honest, and I'll always say what I do wrong. I got that gun, and to be honest with you, I put it through the test. Nobody knew if the gun was going to rock and roll as hard as people say it might. The gun rock and rolls, trust me. I put the gun through so much abuse that the barrel was so bad that it had stuff attached on the inside that was prohibiting me to even shoot the gun and get a zero on it. I was hard headed. I didn't even clean the gun at all, ever. I never cleaned the gun. I sprayed it down one time and wiped it off before a major match, and I showed up to it, and it was still hideous. And everybody's always looks at my gun. They say, "What are you doing? Why don't you clean it?" And I was just like, to myself, and inside of my own head, I'm like, if this gun keeps running and running and running and running, I'm not going to clean it, and I want to find that failure point. And the failure point ended up being too much. I don't even know, because I don't load ammo or not. I just buy off the shelf ammo anywhere I can for as cheap as I can. And I guess whatever it was so bad that the barrel wasn't cleaned properly. I sent it off to them and told them that I think the gun's messed up. Right? They get the gun and they clean it properly and shoot it and send me a picture, and their zero is perfect at any distance they're going. They're all going through the same hole. And I'm like, oh my gosh, don't tell me this is me the whole time. They send it back to me and I zero it again, same hole, all the shots, the whole entire time. It was me not cleaning it. So cleaning regimen now is much better. Before, it was not great at all.
Well, I just had to throw that in there because they probably already know. They know that it's a filled in mess.
They knew.
So do you at least clean your guns now, or slightly clean them?
Yeah. Slightly clean them. I wouldn't go as far as as amount of cleaning I see other people do, which is absolutely insane, in my opinion. But I guess at the level of shooter that we're at, and other shooters are, and where they're trying to be, I guess it does make sense to break the guns down and clean them a lot more and take care of them a little bit more. I'm just used to treating these like tools, and unfortunately, the tool and the race gun hasn't separated for me, and I still treat them all like a tool. Maybe I'll do better and better, but yeah, that's where we're at with it. They get more cleaning than they did before.
Right. So as everybody knows now, or most should know, you don't live in Florida anymore. You've gone from the one Mecca shooting center of Florida all the way to the other one in call it Rio Salado, Arizona, Phoenix, Arizona area. What drove you out that way?
Osite. Where's that? Right here. Osite. So I started working with Osite in January. We went out to SHOT Show to release their brand new optic that I've been testing for a while, the Osite X. So I was blessed to be able to be part of that project and go on stage and talk in front of all these amazing people out there. We have professional fighters, professional shooters, all sorts of great people out there. So it was a really cool experience, and that's what got me out here to move here full time, and to say, what, it's a big move from Florida to Arizona, but the opportunity is amazing, and I love the company. And it's been almost a year now, and we've done so much in that first year. It's been an awesome experience, man. And it is a mecca out here, like you said. It is amazing out here. You have 11 plus matches to choose from weekly. You gotta. It's not where. It's not how many matches you can go shoot. It's how much money do you got in your wallet. You know.
Mm-hmm. Oh, 100%. So you said you moved out there for O-Site. You started working for them. I'm going to ask a silly question, probably a silly question. O-Site, are they related to Olight or just happenstance on names?
It is a separate company. There is some. It is some interest between the two companies, but it is a complete separate company, different motive. OSITE only makes red dot optics. And now that's Black Friday, I can say this officially. We have released green dot optics now. We have some green dots that just went out, two different models. But it is two separate companies. They only make the red lights. They did make a previous model called an O Light O Sight, which is the older version of what it is. But now it's so much more technology, so much more testing and innovation went into the new product, which is the O Sight X and all of our other new models.
Gotcha. So more like they're part of the same. They're under the same parent company umbrella, but two separate.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I thought I'd ask. It's one of those things. You never know, right?
Right. For sure.
So, all right, so that's cool. Green dots. So people like you out in the Phoenix, Arizona area can shoot green dots at the red sand instead of seeing red dots on red sand.
Exactly.
And I mean, that's like a personal preference. People's always, I see green better. I'm like, I shoot in grass and trees. Like green blends in, So I understand the green sight for different areas.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, different environments and different eyesight preferences, astigmatisms, all those things come into play for it. And it seems to be that a lot of users really like green and ask for it. And especially, during all the surveys and different Q&As that we've had and different feedback that we've gotten, a lot of people really wanted it. They're like, that's that one key factor that will keep us from buying your optic right now is we want to go with a company that offers a green dot optic. We love all your features. We love all these things, but we really want to have that green dot. Some people like it because of the environment, but some people just like it because of their astigmatisms, their own personal eyesight and stuff. And one thing I want to say real quick too is this: in Phoenix, I feel like I'm on Mars. It's red desert everywhere. The people here, when I tell them that, they said they feel like they're in Florida on the East Coast. They feel like they're in the planet on Avatar, that crazy planet, whatever it's called. But it's two different environments. So having that green in Florida would be, I feel like it'd get washed away pretty quick. So in desert sand, it's really contrasting against that red background, having that green dot for sure.
Right. And the planet you're looking for was Pandora.
That's what it's called, Pandora. Yeah.
That's
There's a new one. I went and watched a movie the other day and seen it on theater, and that was the previews. A new one coming out.
What is that? The third Avatar movie then?
I think so. It's pretty cool.
I haven't seen the first one yet.
No, it's pretty cool. Pretty cool.
Yeah. So one person did end up asking, what's your favorite part about working at O-Site?
Being part of such an innovative company. There's so many avenues you can take, and for working for a company in general, whether it's firearms related or not. There's so many avenues that you can explore and get out there and try to get into. Being able to bridge that both of work and shooting, being it's like my main hobby, is a blessing altogether. But my favorite thing about the company, beside all these other factors, is the simple innovation factor. How much the company's willing to try to differ from other companies and explore to see what works and what doesn't work, and get that feedback from the people on the other end of things and make those changes for the people rather than making something and trying to make people adjust what they have to it. So I really, really like that a lot. And that's definitely my favorite thing about the company.
Gotcha. So, which is cool, right? The innovation, the willingness to change, in the progress. It shows that the company is willing to listen to its feedback and its customer base for feedback, which then helps you build support, right? So the coolest thing I think I see about these O-Sites, I've seen them on the range and on social media. They're rechargeable, like.
Yeah, man. Yeah. It's literally the easiest thing ever. Simplest thing. Like you literally have your optic. Like here's an O-Site right here. and you have your cover, which doubles as like a dust protection cover. And all you do is take it and stick it on the top like that, and your optic is charging right away.
So it's like a
And it's
power bank, like for like you'd attach to your phone.
yeah, yeah. It's like a crazy battery life that we get with these things, anyways, on one charge. But you charge this up with a USB C, and this itself will charge the optic 3 times before you have to charge the cover again. The optics battery life is, crazy amount of hours. It's thousands and thousands and thousands of hours that you get on it. So you end up putting the cover on it when you're done shooting, is what I do, and it doubles. Like I said, it protects me from all the elements and stuff, but it's charging it up anyway. So the optic stays at rather 95, 100%, and bounces in between there. And if you forget the charger on it, it's still going to be at like 90+%, even if you left it off for a while. It has motion sensor in it, turns on and off. It's a really cool feature on it. But that's our brand new. We just got it patented, which is awesome. It's now officially our technology for us completely, and we're the only company out there that has that technology in their red dots, to double as a cover, charges it up.
Right. So there's no excuse of my optic died on a stage because it should always be charged.
Yeah, it should be. Some of the optics, like we've had some that we've tested and put them at max brightness and left them on, for a long time now. And when the optic is completely dead, you can put the cover on it at 0% charge on the battery, and it'll in a few minutes you'll have enough to run a few stages, no problem. Like in between pasting, if you did forget to charge it up and put a cover on it, or it could be like, hey, skip 2 shooters for me. In those 2 shooters shooting the pacing, your optic, I promise you will have enough juice to get you to finish that match, to keep going. Put the cover on, charge, pace, shoot. You'll have plenty enough to get through that. It charges really fast.
Well, that's impressive.
Yeah, it is. I've done that before. I went out there and had one of the test dots that we had on full brightness for a long time on my Smith and Wesson. And when I went to go use that dot, finally we found the failure point of leaving it on at full brightness and how long it could go for. Popped the cover on and literally finished the match, no problem. It was really cool.
Yeah, that is cool. So now that you're out there in Phoenix, how many matches did you shoot last week?
Oh man. Last week I shot a Tuesday night match, I shot a Thursday night match, and I shot um, then I shot Area 2, which I didn't shoot too much of Area 2, but I did shoot those 3 matches total. Those were the three. And then shooting wise during that week, I went and shot before Area 2 on Thursday, before my match on Thursday. And then on Monday or Wednesday, I went and shot again. So 3 matches, but 5 days of shooting.
Damn. Now, oh, what was I saying? Um, Brain lapsed, but I mean, I think what'd you do? And did you drag Andy Chen out there with you for one of those matches? And
Yeah, I snatch him out there when I can. He's very busy. He's the head of marketing for OSI altogether. Very cool guy, very smart, very savvy when it comes to the marketing and branding. He knows that side of things like the back of his hand, which is really cool. Really cool to work alongside him. But since he has all that knowledge, he spends a lot of time tasking that knowledge to apply it to OSI. So a lot of that extra time that he has, he can't make it out to the matches as much as other people can. So we try to bounce out as many as we can. I would love to shoot 5 matches a week if I could. But I try to get out to these late matches. The only reason I'm able to shoot as much as I can is because the matches are from 7 o'clock. They start at 7, so I can get out there way after work, drive the hour, and start that match and get home, around 10 o'clock at night. Sacrifice a little bit of that late night to get to those matches to stay proficient.
right, yeah, and I think especially the cool thing about some of those matches is like you grab you and your buddy and you go shoot the couple stages, and you grab enough people to paste and run the match, and you turn your tablet back in and go back home, right? So I mean, there's like
Yeah,
especially with Tuesday night steel, it's like in and out, right?
so fast, man. You can be in and out in an hour and a half, even shorter, depending on how efficient your squad is, like you said.
Yeah, I had a buddy who he lived out in Phoenix for a while, and yeah, he was doing that all the time, and he moved back to the good old cold state of Michigan, and it's definitely a different pace up here. So What's the biggest? What's been your biggest environmental change from moving from Florida to Arizona?
The dust in the air. It's been crazy. So I feel like I'm chewing on sidewalk chalk is the best way I describe it to people. That's been the main thing. The air at the time of the year I've came has not been crazy hot. I did see like 108 one of the days, which was pretty hot. But the humidity level being so low differs so much from Florida's extremely high humidity at 50, 60, 70, 80% at times. And it's much better out here. The quality of breathing for me has been much easier. I sweat a lot less out here in Phoenix than I do in Florida, or any other place that has a much higher humidity level. So the dust is what has been the worst.
Yeah, I can imagine that. Yeah, the dust and uh, yeah, the humidity change has got to be a vast difference between the two.
Yeah, it is, man. It's been rough for the dust. I've been wearing like face shields to try to like help breathe, not breathe as much of it in, and still, man, it finds its way to get in there.
What, at 6'5"? Aren't you above the dust? I thought you're tall enough, right? You shouldn't have to worry about the dust. It should settle lower than that.
You would think so, but there's more open shooters out here than I've seen anywhere. More Infinity open shooters as well. It's crazy how many Infinities I've seen,
Well, they're
and
all retired old people. That's
they
why.
all so many of them as well. And that open gun just shoots this debris all the way up right to my nose. It's insane. Like it doesn't go any higher. Like it's right to me, and that's it.
Hmm.
I'm a dust fan.
Hey, nothing wrong with that. So I did get another question I want to ask. It's so the rustiest of turbos had to ask our buddy Ryan, where did the name Glock 2 JZ come from? I'm curious about this too now.
Yeah, for sure. So Glock was the first gun, as I mentioned a little bit earlier, that I got. I really, really enjoyed it a lot, and it was like my baby for a while. And the two Jay Z part came from Supras. I'm really big into cars. That was like my main hobby before. So the past 3 years has been shooting. The previous, 4, 5, 5, 6 years before that was all car hobbies. So when I was 21, I saved up enough money to buy a Mark IV Turbo Supra, and bought it, did some modifications to it and whatnot, and sold that car, bought another Supra, and then I was just addicted. So then I had like two JZ cars at one time, race trucks, GS 300, IS 300, SC 300, the Supra. And I absolutely just fell in love with it and started messing around with building them, playing around with them, drag racing, all that fun stuff. And that's where the 2JZ came from. So my two hobbies mixed together, and I felt like what Instagram was for is to share your passion with people and what you like. So Glocks were what I enjoyed, and I used to post like cool little gun pictures back in the day, like outfit of the day style pictures for girls but guns for guys type of ordeal, and post a lot of car stuff. So Glock 2J was just the all in one bundle for me. So that's how that name came to be. Two of my favorite things flashed together.
Gotcha. Yeah, that's a cool, interesting name. Now we know. Why
Yep.
does this keep popping up? Anywho, so you mentioned it. You shot a little bit of Area 2. Somebody did ask what
Yeah.
did happen. If you don't care, like sharing, you don't have to. But somebody
Not
did
at all.
ask.
If you can't talk about the lows of the times, what's the point of talking about the highs? It makes you look like somebody you might not be. And that's one thing for me is I don't have shame in anything, and you shouldn't have shame. It's a sport, just like in basketball, you get 5 fouls, you foul out of the game, and that's part of it. Unfortunately, in this sport, you're fouling out as a DQ. All you can do from a DQ is try to learn what you did wrong and try to move forward from it, not to replicate that issue, and share your experience with new shooters, past shooters, old shooters, best shooters. Everybody can take something from it. So at Area 2, I shot the first stage, went pretty decent. Shot the second stage, didn't go well. Going into the third stage, I got DQ'd. My DQ was on a 180 break, on a stage that also had quite a bit of DQs. And it has nothing to do with the stage design. It has all to do with each of us simply just not paying attention to the muzzle and awareness and breaking the rule. In a match where there's 500 plus shooters in it, and there's a percentage of not crazy amount, even if it's 20, 30, 40 people that DQ. In theory, there's a lot more people that didn't DQ than that did, right? So that was all on my own issue. Stage planning happened where I got a little bit hectic in the beginning of the stage. When I turned around to go back to activate, my brain didn't process where to go first because there's two activators. So I kind of went to the right, then I stepped to the left, overshot it, and when I stepped back, the gun stayed in the same place it was. And when I went backwards, the gun stays. So I rotate, the gun goes past the 180 when I try to turn back around. They called a stop on the stage. Right before I get to the next target, I have the gun aimed up and they call stop. I put the gun down. I turn around and look and confused for a second because I'm not used to that. And they tell me to stop, and I, pulled my magazine out and didn't have any emotion shown at all, and I still don't. It was part of it. I apologized to the ROs. He pulled me aside and he told me, unfortunately, this is what happened, and if you have any video evidence that we can try to pull that shows you not breaking the 180, we'll use it. I told him, if the two ROs call a stoppage and there's a whole crowd of people here that also seen it, there's no point to argue. And it was a good call. And I thanked him for being an RO on the stage. And I told him everybody to have a good rest of their match, watch the next few stages with them. And then I went back to the house to regroup and watch the footage and try to break down what I did wrong, So that's what happened at that area too.
Yeah. And it's not always a if, it's a when kind of thing for every shooter, right? Like,
Yep.
it sucks is, you go to a big major match hoping to perform well at the podium, and then you're like, something like this happens, right?
Yeah.
But it shows your character of not, of being a better person and thanking the RO for their time and not blowing it up, making it any worse than it was already at. And it shows good character on that at that regard. Which is even better that you stayed, you hung out, and you paced a little bit afterwards, and then went home.
Yep.
Most people would be like, "Well, I'm DQ'd. Bye, guys."
Yeah.
By the end of the match, the guys on those squads where people just start dropping, if they start dropping like flies, it's like it gets worse and worse because then you're like, well, we went from. It's always the squad. I've always noticed at majors, it's always the squad that had like 9 people to start with anyway, and then they just keep dropping like flies, and by the end of the match, they got like 5 people left. It's like,
yeah. Then you're stuck doing all this extra work all day. Yeah, so it was unfortunate, and the RO did thank me, is to point that out to other people as well. Respect for these guys is huge, and I think that's what a lot of them really are looking for. And the level of respect given is kind of how much I guess they probably give back. Whether we agree to that or not, we are a bunch of grown men out here as well. There's a bunch of grown ladies as well, and there's a bunch of junior shooters. So we're all setting examples. So back talking these ROs for calls and stuff is not something that we have to do now that they allow video footage. Just gather your evidence and go and appeal during the right time. You don't have to show emotion to that person at the stage. And like I said, he pulled me aside after I did all this, and he thanked me. He said, "Thank you for doing that." And he goes, "I appreciate that a bunch." He goes, "We've had shooters blow up." And I looked at him, and if you know me in person or met me, the type of guy I am. How I treat ROs is fun for me, and I like to, poke around and make them smile. And I looked at him and said, "Well, would you want me to go over there and body slam your buddy?" Talking about the other RO, and he just starts laughing so hard, and he's like, "Man, thank you very much." So they like to have fun and smile as well. It's not all serious every single second of the match. Like I said, they are humans. We are people as well. So there's time to be serious, and there's also time to play around. And it's a funny time. When they think I'm going to be all very upset because I got DQ'd, I'm still smiling and making jokes. It makes everybody, be at ease a little bit more.
Mm-hmm. Oh, absolutely. So, what's your area 2 is kind of like the big last match of the season, at least for most of us or for most people. Do you have a big match coming up, or are you pretty much
Yeah.
season?
No, man. So this year, my goal at the beginning of the year was 10 majors, and I'm going to settle, I think, around 18 or 20. And that's a lot of dedication and motivation and help with the support from all my sponsors that I have. So I appreciate them to be able to help me get to all these matches. It would not be possible if I didn't have that help from them. So the next couple matches that I have is the PCSL West Coast Championship in California. It's this weekend. So this Friday, Max Lee Grandis, myself, are driving out to Vegas and picking up John Gattuso, and we are driving out to California. I think it's like a 11, 12, 13-hour drive, so we're going to put in the time to get there. And that's, the flights right now are down, so we had to drive. So we get there, shoot the match, and we're going to come back after the match on Sunday. And then the next week coming up after that, I have I think I have either a week off or that weekend, but either way, in the next same month, I have the IDPA Arizona State Championship. I've never shot an IDPA major, and I've only shot one IDPA match ever, and it was like 2 weekends ago. I went and tried it out for the first time. So I have that match coming up as well. And then right after that, I have the PCSL Nationals in Utah. We have that coming up, and then there's also a some other local. I think I'm not sure if it's a major, but it's some kind of charity event that we have going on as well. It supposedly has a lot of shooters that go to it. So I still have 3 major matches at least to compete in before the end of the year.
Oh wow, you still got plenty, and then you can all start it again over in 2026, right?
Yeah, it's already booked for a lot of these matches, and ball's already rolling. So 2026 jumps the calendar date, flip the page, and we're off to some new major matches.
Oh, and that's the cool thing is, right? You can just do it all over again and get your next season rolling. Especially
Mhm.
living in Arizona now, even you in Florida, in Florida, you don't really have an off season. Most people, like where I live, you got to take some time off of shooting outside because it's just too cold and you can't do it. So
Right, right. Yeah, I never experienced that part of the sport yet, so very blessed.
right, and that's the night. Some people like it. I enjoy the break, the little bit of break. It just makes it fun sometimes,
Yeah, for
and
sure. Yeah.
and then it makes you want it again too. Like near the end of my season, I was like, well, I'm not really feeling it right now, so I'm going to take a break and not shoot and enjoy my winter hobby, which is going and watching semi-pro hockey games. I mean, I enjoy watching hockey. Um, it's fun. You get to yell at the people inside the fish. As I've seen it on the internet now, um, the boy aquarium.
Oh, I've never heard that before.
Right. Well, and it's usually like it's usually on these reels, and people go to hockey games and they call it the boy. It's usually girls saying this, or it's,
Yeah,
hey, look, it's the boy aquarium, and I'm like, I guess you're not
yeah,
wrong. I mean, they
yeah.
are in like the glass or the
Yeah,
plexi,
that's a good one. I never heard that.
but um, but yeah, so nothing wrong with that, and I enjoy that. And then everyone's like, man, you go to more hockey games and go shooting matches. I'm like, yeah, I only got to go like 20 minutes to watch the game. I don't got to drive an hour plus to go to a like I do to a match. So.
Oh yeah, yeah. Florida
But
made me put in the driving
yeah. There's not like unless you're right next to it, you got to drive everywhere. Like
so much.
yeah. Ooh. This is showing my East Coast time time
Oh yeah, yeah,
privileges
right.
because I get well, you in Arizona, you guys don't have daylight savings time now, but I
Nope,
mean,
nope. It just shifted. The time didn't change on the clock, but it definitely changed it around us for sure.
right? Yeah, yeah, and then like it's like sometimes like Arizona's 2 hours behind us, sometimes it's three.
Three
Um,
exactly. Right now we're two.
yeah, it all depends
Mhm.
on when everyone else jumps. I would like it if we never came off of daylight savings time.
Right.
Like so when it changes, uh, it'd be nice purely from the fact is it stay like just keep it there. Like I don't like this
Yeah.
dark crap early. Like I don't like it.
Yeah. It's different. I didn't even know that when I came here, and then they told me they're like, "Oh yeah, Arizona does its own thing. We don't change time for nobody." I'm like, "Oh my gosh, this is so funny."
Yep, but the nature does, and it's like what the hell.
Nature definitely did. It got dark fast. Yeah.
But yeah, so Ashton, this is kind of near the end of the show where I like to ask these questions.
Cool.
But who who are the people who support you, like your sponsors? I mean, we talked a little bit about Osite, but all the rest of your sponsors. This is where we get the shout outs for them.
For sure. So I currently have Osite is one of my main sponsors. I'm on Team Osite. Real Street Tactical, which is a firearm shop in right outside of Orlando, Florida, and Sanford. They're one of the top dealers for Staccato, Atlas. They sell Race Cities, huge vendor of SIG. They have all the top stuff, all the top gear, all the good stuff you need to get into sport shooting. Um, Black Scorpion Gear make holsters, belts, or concealment belts. They make all sorts of stuff for competitive shooting and for EDC gear as well. Race City Defense, which is my firearm sponsor. They make my 2011s, and they help me out with any gunsmith work that I need, any cool stuff like that. DSC Customs, they do upgrades and customization to 2011s and other firearms, such as optic mounts, barrel porting, custom trigger work. Pretty much you name it, he's got a service to take care of it. Artisan Tattoo Collective is another one I've been partnered with. They have a museum as well. Very cool place in DeLand, Florida, and a construction company, Bergeson, as well. I've been working with them for quite a while to help them out, share some of the content and put their logo on the jersey as well. And had a couple companies that I've been partnering and demoing products for. I tried out some glasses for a company called Bleak Up, which is they make like an action cam glass, kind of like the new Oakley Metas that they have. Same ordeal, volume, play music, record, do all that stuff, and it's all inside an app you can mess around with. So I've been trying out that. I talked to a couple different product companies for ear protection. So I've been demoing some products from a company called Earmore. Earmore sent me some stuff to try out, and another ear protection company called Pro Ear. So I've been trying out the different ones and seeing which ones I like. So those are some of the companies that have been helping me out. Previously, I was getting working with a company called Curated Arms on the East Coast. But since I'm now out here on the West Coast, it might not make the most sense for us. But he gets his ammo through 2A ammo. So I was going through Curated Arms to have him supply that. But now that I'm so far out here, I'm not sure if it makes the most sense, cost wise for us. But fantastic ammo that I was getting through him. And those are some of the companies that have been helping me out quite a bit.
Well, and that's cool. It's super cool to hear these companies and help let shooters know who to go to, who to help support and pay back, for sure. And it's nice to see them being able to support you in whatever avenues and facets that they're able to support with. If it's
Yeah.
getting you to matches or whatnot, or product and what.
Yeah, it all helps so much, man. Even down to Howitzer. Howitzer supplied, clothing with people. It's awesome, man. He like I said, he supported me a little bit this year as well. Huge thanks to Howitzer and all the help that they've given, and definitely recommend all their products. I'm wearing their pants right now. They're definitely like my EDC pants. So even down to clothing, accessories, magazines, pouches, anything like that is such an awesome help for us to help us get to more matches. It really is.
Yeah. Which now wait, are these the pants that are like multicolored, like brown, like gray, like the green, and then like the black butt? Or I'm sorry, it's like the colored leg, like butt, and then like the black pants, like.
Yeah. Yeah, so he has a scout pants. Those are some of his pants that he has that have multicolors on them. The ones I'm wearing now are like a black and a gray scheme. But yeah, he has like green and black, light green and dark green, brown and gray, brown and light brown, black, all different color combos that you can get. But they're really awesome, man. For every day or for shooting, the big difference in these and other pants. They're so lightweight, stretchy, and they also breathe really good and keep the heat out. That was a huge thing.
Mhm. Nothing wrong with that, and yeah, and it's super cool to see them in the sport. I mean, they're a big supporter of the shooting sports in general, so it's nice to see. I mean, I know our buddy Ryan likes those, like all the products that they make. So there's really nothing that
Yeah.
you won't see in this industry, right?
Right. Right.
So, all right, Ashton. So we talked a little bit about it, but if people want to get a hold of you, ask more questions, talk to you, what's the best place for them to do that at?
So Instagram is pretty much like the most used nowadays, but Instagram at Glock2JZ is a good one. We have a training page. It's Tactical Playground. You can also reach out to that and be able to have access or questions about shooting. That's also an Instagram or TikTok page as well. We also have our YouTube for Tactical Playground that has some uploaded content on it, or an app called School, SKOOL. You can also go on school and access our library. So it has all my training classes. One classes that I have done, they're live recorded, and we upload all that on there. Dry fire drills, and also ACE VR. When I go do ACE classes and when I do ACE drills, I do live recordings of them and upload those sessions to the school. So it is a portal that you can access to have, opportunity to see all that cool stuff as well. So those are a few different ways.
Well, that's cool. But yeah, and I'll definitely tag all that stuff in the description of this show so people can go and see all of that, which is definitely another avenue for some training and some knowledge. So, but
Sure.
Ashton, man, I want to thank you for your time and hanging out with me and just having a good conversation with me. So I appreciate that.
Yeah, for sure, man. Thank you very much. It was a good time, good questions. All the stuff that you're doing as well is really cool to be able to help get notoriety to people that might need it, and help people, introduce some other stuff to the to the sport that they might not know or didn't want to ask in person. So those are really good, valuable questions for sure.
Absolutely. And for everybody, go see this crazy trigger pulling fiend out there on the range. You'll see him. He's really tall. He's really fast. You could probably maybe call him Nils Jonassen, but he doesn't shoot a Canik. So I don't know. But they're in the same place. You'll probably see them next to each other. But as always, guys, get out and do the things. I'll see you on the next one.